Hello there everybody, welcome back to another Train Sim World 5 video. You join us on the East Coast mainline this time, and we're going to be using the Cargo Line Volume 3 FCAs for a journey up to Doncaster, I believe we're going. So here we are in the Deutsche Bahn 66, which is included with Cargo Line Volume 3. Let's get it all ready to go. I've already set up a little bit. Just make sure the audio is all good. I was tempted to use the DRS one, but then I was like, well, we should probably use the one included, so we're using this one. Right, let's see. Good, so that's fine. I've already released the main brakes. I've just got the direct brake on. Let's quickly set up our train length. So we are, let's have a little look. 543 yards. So times that by 3. That should get your sort of in feet. So let's see, what would that be if my brain wants to turn on? 1,500. 1,500. I did a bit of maths here. 1,500 and 129-ish. 1,630. Yeah, we'll go for that. Let's see. 1,630. That would do. 1,630. So a fairly long train. Probably pop that in, enter. Yeah, cool. Right. Oh, hang on. Enter to save. There. Right. Let's get the brakes off. We'll set that to forward. We've got the road already. So it should be all good to get going. So yeah, we got the FCAs. Probably got some FKAs as well. What do we all? They're all FCAs. Wow, well, they might actually all be FCAs. FCAs are like the skinny container flats, where the FKAs from Great Western are like the more chunkier ones. But I think we might actually have all FCAs. I think we do, yeah. I can't see any of the other ones. Well, out we go then. So we'll press the button here once we get past this 25 board. So we do that now. Sometimes you have to click it twice. There you go, so it's counting down. So that is going to count down, and when it beeps, that's when we're past. That's when the back of the train's past that board. Do love the sound of the 66 though. Even though it's been like the same since what, Southeastern High Speed V2, that's when we got like the enhanced 66. Still love it. Makes a big difference over the old one, which we had for years. Well, I do wish we did have another freight loco though. Well, that's coming down nicely. Almost half of the train is now clear of the marker. I hope my maths was correct there. That would be a bit embarrassing if I'd miscalculated that. It's early, alright, it's early. Can't use that excuse all the time. Or it's too late. It's coming down. Cool. And yeah, once it beeps, we shall speed up to 25. Although really saying that, if we just wait a little bit longer, probably about 10 seconds longer, we'll be able to speed up to 75 miles an hour. And not that, there's a little beep there. Right, there we go. And we're probably also about to be clear of the points in general. Yeah, well, we'll just go up to 75 now. We are a class 4 train, so our top speed is 75. If you're doing class 6, which is not, I don't think there actually are any. No, I think there's one container run which is a class 6. If you're class 6, the max speed is 60 miles per hour. But as we're class 4, as you can, if you come to the schedule here, it says that 4 Echo 58 in the top left there, Felixstowe North to Tinsley Intermodal. So the 4 is our class of train. So as we're a 4, 75 miles per hour. Whereas if we were a 6, 60. So that's slightly easier, sort of 6, 60. I think on the older routes it doesn't actually enforce it, but on these newer routes it actually does sort of say, right, only go 60. Nice. Let's get a flyby shot. It's not like we've got to look out for anything on this route. Much easier than the West Coast Main Line. Most of the services are actually about 2 hours as well, an hour and a half to 2 hours. This is one of the slightly shorter ones. So you got the 40-foot wagon and a few 20-foot wagon, 40-foot containers and 20-foot containers. There you got 3 20-foot ones there, all on the same FCA. Quite a lot of empty ones though. You get that quite a lot of the real life trains, lots of sort of empty spine wagons or container flats. Which I mean isn't really good to see, I suppose. Like there's loads of empty ones there, which yeah, probably isn't a good thing. But to be honest, I think railway freight in general is sort of in decline, especially sort of container stuff, because it's just too expensive. Well, they want, they want to move lots of freight to, railways, and they were just going up quite substantially. But I think it's sort of dropped off now, because just money isn't there. It's just cheaper to go truck. So I think there was sort of a big boom in sort of container traffic, but now, well, not so much. Maybe that will change. I mean, with on the West Coast Main Line, for example, which has a lot of container traffic, you've of course got HS2 being built. So maybe once that's done, more of the passenger stuff goes over to there. Maybe it will make it a bit cheaper to run freight, because I think pretty certain freight operators have to sort of buy slots to get on to, say, the West Coast Main Line to use it. So maybe once there's a bit more room, it will be a bit cheaper, and then I don't know, maybe it will be cheaper to freight stuff by rail. But yeah, I don't think the sort of container business is doing great. So, I mean, hopefully that will change. So I was at Southampton Central yesterday. Massive container train went through. It was definitely more than, bigger than this. And yeah, there was just loads of empty ones. And it was just like, oh, that's not good. And that was going down to the port, onto the docks. Yeah, you've got that bug where the parking brake is sort of on and off. Not sure what's going on there. But thanks to Dovetail for giving us a key to show off this Cargo Line Volume 3 pack. So far it's been cool, I suppose. Again, I'd say Volume 2, there's 3 cargo, there's almost 4 Cargo Line packs, but there's not. There's Cargo Line Volume 1, which is the T-tankers. It had a bit of a sort of negative reception when it first come out, but it's actually pretty decent. And then you've got Volume 2, the aggregate ones. That is the best. Cargo Line Volume 2 is the best one. With the HOA wagons, completely opens up Mount Sorrel on the Midland Main Line. Across 3 routes it goes on to. You've got graffiti on the HOAs. Yeah, Volume 2 is by far the best Cargo Line pack. And at Volume 3, you get the FCA spine wagons, and then gameplay on the West Coast Main Line and the East Coast Main Line. But yeah, I wouldn't say as good as Volume 2. And then, not from Skyhook, you've got the HKA National Power Pack for the West Coast Main Line South, which almost is like a Cargo Line pack, but it's not. Yeah, you got that there as well. That's a funny one. And yeah, Cargo Line Volume 4, which will be coming at some point, which is the military pack. Which again, will be interesting to see how they pull that off in a realistic way. Not sure how they're going to do that. But I mean, this one's alright. I mean, it gives you a bit more variety in traffic on the main lines. And of course, yeah, it gives you a few more containers. And a new type of spine wagon being the FCA. But yeah, I'd say the Volume 2 is the best one. I don't really know between Volume 1 and Volume 3. But if you are sort of looking at getting a cargo line pack, probably go for Volume 2. This one's £9.99 as well. Although on PlayStation in the UK, I think it's £9.49. Like one of those weird price differences. Well, I suppose if you're constantly on the East Coast Mainline or West Coast Mainline, you want to see a bit more variety, you pick this up. Although I wonder, if you own Volume 3, I don't think it's been mentioned, on the, say, container trains on, well, the other routes, Great Western, but yeah, basically all of the other container trains on other routes, would you start seeing FCAs within the consists, or would it still just be FKAs? I assume it probably would still just be FKAs. But that's a good question. I wonder if they would consider it if it doesn't do that already. Let's get another flyby shot now. We're only going about 60. I think we're sort of going uphill very, very gradually, so it's sort of hindering our performance. Headlights are buggered on it. Nice. Would have also been cool to maybe see a little bit more branding on the containers. That'd be quite cool to see. Was it Maersk? Or just basically any other sort of container brand. But the pack's been out a couple of days now. From what I've seen so far, it's mixed opinions. Yeah, some people saying, "Oh, it's great, a bit more variety, a few more container runs, more gameplay," and others just saying, "Oh, we've already had containers. I probably won't be getting it unless it's on sale." Which I suppose the cargo line packs probably are more. But all of the gameplay packs are more things you probably do end up getting on sale. Yeah, I know a few people commented on the first look saying probably won't get it for $9.99. Pick it up on sale. Fair enough. Sort of the best time to pick up these little packs when they're at a discounted price. But Skyhook nonetheless have done a nice job there of the FCA, and of course, the containers. £65 miles an hour. We don't have to worry about any of the speed limits along here. Of course, they're all above 75 miles an hour. If only there was cruise control on this. I think we've only actually ever done like a freight run once on the East Coast Mainline. Cool. So we're not that far off of Retford now, going about 70 miles an hour. It's going to be a bit bouncy as well, isn't it? Top speed of this train is 75 anyway. It feels like really unnatural going this fast in a freight train. There's actually on like almost every other route it's always just class 6, which is 60. We're going 75 in a freight train. It's like, whoa. Doesn't feel right. Cool. So yeah, not too far from Retford. I think it's at about 36 minutes, this one. So we've got about 20 minutes. But that's how just relaxing these freight runs, because it's just 75 the whole way. As well, on this route as well, there's no speed drops or anything that you have to worry about. The only thing you really have to worry about is being brought into a loop to then let a LNER service blast past. Apart from that, it should just be plain sailing greens the whole way, as all the other trains will be going at about 125 miles an hour. That is 75. But we are starting to go downhill a bit now, so I'm going to get a little bit of breakage on, as well as you bang on 75, but crawling up slowly. Let's get a little shot here of the train. Cool. Let's do a bit of that, bit of field of view, whack that up. Try and get some of the containers if we can. Not by the post. Hang on, need to blim and zoom out now a bit. Limerick. Maybe we'll get one sort of by the containers as well, just as it is meant to be about the containers. This video, or about the FCAs. Quite cool like that, isn't it? Oh, actually, that's quite cool. Let's get that one. Oh, I like that. Especially with the signal there in the background. Oh, just let it coast now. Well, I'm saying that we have drop speed a little quick there. So we're going into Doncaster, I think decoy side in. I think that's, so is that over to the left hand side? No, yeah, I think we've done a freight service on this route like once or so. Not often. Not often enough to know where the decoy yard is. I think it's over to the left. Well, here's Retford, so next station up is Doncaster, which is still quite a distance. Got the DSD going off, making sure we're still here and alive. Going past Retford. Lovely. Cool. So I would like to see Skyhook maybe do a new freight locomotive at some point. As I mean, they do sort of very much seem to be all these cargo line packs coming out, Volume 4 on the way as well. It would be quite cool to just see them do, yeah, like a new freight locomotive, which could then substitute onto all of the other, or some of the other sort of cargo line, well, some of the other services which cargo line packs give you. Like I think Adam, who was Dovetail Games Adam, but now Skyhook Adam. I think once he mentioned like a 60 once upon a time. That'd be quite cool to see. I assume that would run container services. But yeah, maybe just something. Yeah, maybe they could do a loco DLC, and yeah, that loco could then sub in for the 66 on a fair few of the cargo line stuff. obviously where possible. Well, there is one freight locomotive. Well, it's never actually been. It hasn't been announced, but it's been teased. But it is sort of obvious what it is. We didn't. I don't think we saw it in the last roadmap. It might have actually been the season of reveal, so quite a while ago. But we had that little shot of the teaser of what we think is a Class 20, potentially in DRS livery. So a DRS Class 20. Yeah, that's the only things that I can think of at the moment in terms of sort of freight loco. But I don't know what that would be doing though. But again, that's nothing like announced yet. That's just a teaser. But it does look like it's going to be a Class 20 DRS. But again, that might not be the case. It could be something completely different. But considering they have got the DRS license, and it was a 20, which DRS have, in DRS colours, is a bit suspicious. Yeah, I think that was in one of the season of reveal videos back in December. So I feel we just hit the Train Sim World news playlist, and it won't be that far down. Yeah, I don't think we haven't heard about that in a while. But the next big release after this, I assume, probably will be the Frankfurt S-Bahn route. And in terms of UK content, don't know, what have we got for UK stuff? You got the ATS route. Maybe that'll be next. So sort of UK stuff, not sure. We're getting to that point where I've just sort of forgotten the last roadmap. Or was it 3.5 weeks ago? It's just like, what was on it? Be interesting to see what's on this roadmap though. So as we get, into those warmer summer months already, mad, just completely mad. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what we see. In fact, you know what? I'm going to have a little look at the roadmap. It's fairly straightforward, this one. Let me have a look at the roadmap. Cool. Yeah, let's find the roadmap for April. That would be. Got a huge download going at the moment, so it's taking a while to load. Let me quickly pause my download. When I download something on Steam, it just dies the internet. So just waiting for that to come back to life, and then I shall get the roadmap up. Well, at least I'll read through it again to see what interesting bits we got on there. Well, you got the Colne Aachen timetable, but that's on Steam at the moment, not on consoles yet. Roadmap. That was a while ago. It was a while ago on this article, going all the way back. It was literally the first of. Oh yeah, it was the 1st of April, a month ago. Just waiting for the little display sheet to load, if it does. Oh yeah, the Pacer from Just Trains, the Transport for Wales one for Cardiff. I suppose that's quite exciting UK stuff. But I don't think there's really much else UK on there. Again, I'm still waiting for the little photo to load, which is taking a little while longer than usual. So if that does load, I'll have a look at that. But yeah, I think that's really the only thing. What the 142 Transport for Wales. Cargo Line Volume 4 as well. I don't know if there's really much UK stuff on there now. Cool. Cool. Is it loaded? No. But yeah, we've got the volume for cargo line, and yeah, the 142 Pacer from JT, and well, the ATS Manchester route. But one thing which has disappeared off the radar is the was it the class 104 for Peak Forest? That's sort of just gone. So I wonder if we'll find out about that in the next roadmap. There's an 801. Early morning service down to London, I assume. I think that all of the southbound LNER services go to London. There's not really any other terminating points. Well, we shouldn't be too far off now. We should sort of fairly soon start getting yellows. I should do. Cool. Let's have a sort of one last flyby shot of our lovely containers. So as we are nearing the end. Yeah, the FCA. Lots of empty slots though, which is good. Well, it's good to see in the game because it's sort of realistic. It's quite cool just sort of seeing them. You always get like intrusive thoughts, don't you, when you see them? It's just like, oh, I want to jump on that. Of course you wouldn't. Is that when you see those American train hopping videos where they literally, it's like the empty container things and they just jump on, and it's like, that does look cool, but of course you wouldn't do it because it's, well, wrong and dangerous, very dangerous. Alright, come on, where are my yellows? We've sort of gone through the little bit, so it should be sort of the 110 bit. Cool. Lovely. Yeah, there's the back of the tail lamp. Oh, pretty cool from the air. Look at that. That's sort of above the wires, looking down. Yeah, alright, DSD. It's got about 60 sort of 2 at the moment. But no, going back, I've heard stories of slightly older colleagues when they were much younger, sort of back in, you know, sort of the 60s and 70s, where you had freight trains and they'd literally just hop on them and go for a ride. Of course, yeah, you couldn't do that nowadays, and you wouldn't because that's very dangerous. Right, there you go, we've got our double yellow, so let's start popping the brakes on. Cool. So I'd assume we might get a position light signal, so we might come down to a red light, but then we might get the position light or cooling on signal. Might activate. So the brakes are good on these. They take a while to release on the FCAs. Wow, I didn't even put the brakes on that much, and we're coming right down. We might even come to a stop, actually. But a minute, those brakes take ages to come off. Wow. Don't come to a stop just yet. Sort of fighting here a little bit, the brakes. They take ages to come off on these FCAs. Which means it probably is quite realistic. Yeah, I mean, they're still not off yet. Very slowly releasing. Really slowly releasing. But no, I like that. That's, yeah, they probably would be like that. Not just where you literally take out the brakes and straight away released. Yeah, they'd stay on for a while. So you've got to be quite careful braking on here then. Don't sort of try not to do it too much. So those brakes do take a while. Well, there's a single yellow. Yeah, so the next one, well, we haven't got a flashing yellow. So it'll probably come to a red, or there'll be a... Oh, there we go, now it's a green. Okay. That also works. Must have been, well, it must be something ahead of us. Yeah, must be something ahead of us. Maybe another freight service, which is just ahead. Unless that was a red, but I mean, that looked very yellow to me. So yeah, it might have been something, well, might still be something ahead of us, so we'll take it nice and steady. As we're coming into the yard anyway. Have a cheeky look, a little look on the map. So yeah, we're sort of going up round here and down into here. Is there another train there? No, maybe not. I'm pretty certain that signal was yellow, wasn't it? And it went up to green. Yeah, the sort of funny colours on here, because the colours on this game are a little bit funny or funky at times. Like on some routes, yellows. Well, no, is it reds will look more yellow? Yeah, reds will sometimes look slightly more yellow. And that's not just me, because I've seen it commented on the Discord servers and stuff. I have been colourblind tested. But there's a mod to change the that, or to at least increase the glare or brightness of it, so it's a bit more easily visible. It's been about 30. It's been a nice service, this one. It feels like it's been a bit longer than 34. But it's been a nice one. So thanks everybody for coming in. We might actually be going a bit slow here, but as we haven't really been in here, well, probably once we've been in here, we'll take it nice and steady. Some sort of public footpath there. See, a lot of people do knock this route, the East Coast Main Line, but it's I wonder if they're going to have gantry poles there at some point. It's an alright route, but it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I can see why. Hang on, they're missing wires there, or is that? Oh, there's missing overhead wires there. Yeah, because it's I think 80 miles long. And there's only 5 stations, and well, yeah, it's not overly engaging, this route. But then, yeah, it gives you that nice sort of long distance, 125 miles an hour in the Azuma. But it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I can understand why. My double yellow. Personally, I don't mind it. And that's not because I'm a Dovetail Games ambassador, so I'm going to say, oh, it's great, it's great. I don't mind having this sort of mix, as you know, I've got my stopping routes, BML, Southeastern, so I don't mind having these sort of longer distance one. Like West Coast Main Line, Overshat, that's another sort of long distance one between all the stations. You know, I like having that sort of mix of different routes. Although East Coast Main Line South would have been better. Hopefully we see that at some point. But no, I quite like sort of the long distance runs on here, and especially the non-stop ones as well. Sort of 50 minutes of sort of non-stop concentration. So I quite like that. Still just taking it nice and slow. There's not really any point sort of whizzing into here, because I think in a minute we sort of go down quite a gradient down into the yard. There's no point whizzing through. So if these are these the older ones, or these are LED? I think these are the older ones. That one looks more like an LED over there. No, there's an old one. Yeah, the older bulbs are so much easier to see over the LEDs. Decoy Sidings Junction, or Decoy South Junction. Hang on, why have the brakes gone on that much? That's weird. Okay, that's fine. So I only literally tap the brakes, and it almost looks like it almost put them quite a bit on. I think we're okay. There's a little lake there. There's the back of the train. I think up in Doncaster you've also got a massive GBRF depot. I think it's at Doncaster. I think that's or was that Peterborough? Maybe no, I think it's Peterborough actually. You've got a big GBRF depot. That'll be a good FOC to get in the game. Great British Rail Freight, that'll be good. Some JNAs there. So right down to the red light most likely. Let's hope it's not a Bremen Oldenburg. Was that I don't think that video's gone out yet. But I was playing Bremen Oldenburg. So hopefully it's not been too quiet. And the marker was basically on the middle of the main line. There was no signal, so I just ended up keep driving. And I went out of the play area. I was just like, oh great. Are we stopping here? I think we'll just stop in here. Oh, there's a DRS one. Love the DRS 66. So cool. And to get that, you have to have the Engineering Express pack. by Rivet Games for Edinburgh, Glasgow. I mean, alternatively, you could just get the DRS livery on Creators Club, although of course it's not going to look as good as sort of the official one with the official logo and numbering, etc. But I think we'll just stop in here. See, I bet if I stop here, it'll tell me to go forward. Oh no, good. Was that it? Oh, wait for a moment. Oh, we're not there yet. Maybe we have to go somewhere else. Or is this the place? Hang on, let's have a little look on the map. Oh no, this is right. Well, that is going to be it, everybody, for today's video. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. That was quite fun. A bit of the intermodal action with our FCAs on the East Coast Mainline. Obviously they go onto the East Coast Mainline and the West Coast Mainline. West Coast Mainline South, that is. But yeah, hope everyone's enjoyed it. Links usual places: Discord, PayPal, merch store. Also got our affiliate link for the UK Departure Board. There's also a 5% off coupon for all products, 5% off UK Departure Boards, which is quite a bit considering the price these things are. Apart from that, see you all and take care. Bye guys.